Hello everybody and welcome to the Pure Liberal Challenge, Death to the UN. This organization has absolutely no right to exist. Its most recent horror is Iranian dictator and ultra-monster Mahmoud Ahmadinejad using his upcoming trip to the United Nations in New York City to try to visit and desecrate Ground Zero. This jihadi supervillain essentially wants to celebrate and gloat. He wants to mock us and psychologically torture us. But this misery, this UN-based abomination, is normal. Every year, dozens of outrages perpetrated by the UN merely serve to illustrate what should be an obvious point. The United Nations has no right to exist. At the least, no civilized or free nation should care or dare to be a member. The UN is essentially an organization of dictatorships and appeasers of dictatorships. It's a kind of global murder, torture, and slavery incorporated. No nation or government of any decency or humanity can properly belong to it, not unless their goal is simply to brutalize or destroy mankind. The alleged purpose of the UN is world peace. This multinational organization supposedly tries to resolve issues and problems through reason-based dialogue and negotiations. But the profound reality here is peace is a false ideal. When it comes to government and international relations, the great true or proper political ideal is liberty, justice, and individual rights. What all states and their citizens desperately need, first, last, and only, is political freedom. Once this is established, all other socio-economic problems and cultural difficulties on the local and international scene virtually solve themselves. Moreover, peace, the invariably trumpeted refrain and supposed goal of all tyrannies, is a thing which is just about never realized with totalitarian regimes, and it's a thing which is just about automatic with free states. So peace by itself is a hopeless or pointless goal. But this evil organization, the United Nations, is also dedicated to other mistaken ideals, such as security and stability, along with self-determination and democracy. Still other false goals, false gods, which the so-called conflict resolution mandarins of the United Nations worship are non-violation of national sovereignty and non-interference in internal affairs. These last two are particularly loathsome ideals when it comes to dictatorships. But the United Nations seems to love the misery and death agony of the citizens of these dysfunctional and dictatorial states. Although a similar type organization of civilized and free states might well be legitimate and useful, the current United Nations is a garrulous, red-taped, anti-freedom, illiberal hellhole of bureaucracy and tyranny, of boredom and yet terror, where the barbarians aren't just at the gates, but right inside. The United Nations is a worthless, counterproductive criminal syndicate and global monstrosity, which is the pure enemy of America and the West, and which needs to be eradicated from this earth. Death to the UN.